Stephen A. Smith. And fellas, Stephen A., this is the first time we've spoken since I said hello before the evening start. But I'm sitting with Tim all night. Tim, we're preparing to come out here. I just told Ty, not one thing on this card, not one thing was about asking about Indiana winning. And now they've won again. How do they keep doing this?
Well, I just sat down. I think I took about 22 note cards during the game.
Throw
I
them
think
away.
one page devoted to the Indiana Pacers at the end of the game because of what they did in the fourth quarter. It really defies description. I mean, and it's getting to the point. The number of shots that Tyrese Haliburton has made of significance in one postseason run. It's really incredible the way he's stacking them up, even on nights when maybe he is a little bit quieter than normal, which he certainly was tonight. He still has the poise to get to the spot he needs to, the patience to stay with the shot and make it. Look, they survived 25 turnovers because OKC was not converting those into points, and it kept him in the game. OKC usually buries you when you turn the ball over to that extent. 11 points off 25 turnovers. That's just not OKC numbers, and that's why Indiana was still in the game.
Stephen A., at the half, we were all apoplectic that this Pacers team looked like the stage was too big, looked like the moment was too much. They're turning the ball over at an historic clip. 25 years, they've never turned the ball over that much, and they did in the first half. But they have the resolve. To win in this building. What does it say to you about who this team is?
It says to me a lot is that you can never count them out. They look like an AAU squad going up against an NBA squad in the first half. It was absolutely pathetic. They literally looked petrified because the ill-advised passes, you were throwing bounce passes to a 7-footer's feet. You were throwing passes in traffic. You were catching the ball on an outlet pass and turning around and there was a Caruso or a Wallace or a Shea there to steal the ball. One time Haliburton had Shea one-on-one, blew by him and went up to the layup. Only problem was he didn't have the ball. Shea had the ball going the other way because he stripped him on the way up. They had 19 turnovers in the first half. I thought they were going to have 35 by the end of the game because of what I saw in the third quarter after they came out. But Tim makes a good point, as always, when you talked about they weren't converting turnovers. This is OKC coming to the game leading everybody in the postseason. 21 points a game off turnovers. Tonight, just 11 points. 11-4. And then I think about Haliburton, and what can you say about this kid? I thought he looked like a deer in headlights for most of this game. But when it really, really counted, he made the shots. The rest of the NBA, regular season or overtime, last 15 seconds of a game with the game on the line to tie or to take the lead, the rest of the league in the postseason was 4 of 26.
All right.
Haliburton, 5 for 5. 4-game winners. They're calling him Halle Curry right now.
Yeah.
That's what they're calling him.
Well,
that's what they're calling him right now.
I know,
and I don't know what else to say.
Well, the question of star/superstar has been bandied about, and I understand that. Superstar should be reserved for the very highest level, and there's only space for so many, right? There's VIP in the club, and then there's VIP up there where only the true greats can go. If this young man continues to make shots like this at this point in the season against New York and now here, this is the finals, fellas.
Yeah.
That's how you become legendary. This is the stuff that they put on the highlight reels 30 years from now.
You make your money in the regular season. You make your legacy in the postseason.
And the very special quality that he has, and he's done it time and time again in the postseason. That's an incredible number that you just threw out there. He has the rare ability, despite how his night has gone to that point, to slow the game down in the game's biggest moments and to shoot the ball with the same exact muscle memory that he does all the time. And he talked to you about it. He said, yeah, I work on this all the time. That doesn't prepare you for having the nerve you have to have in those moments.
And by the way, these 4-game winning shots that he's had in each round of this postseason, 1 came with 10 seconds left, 2 came with 1 second left, another 1 came at the buzzer. The brother shows up when it counts most. Give him credit where credit is due. That's why he led SportsCenter with you tonight.
There's a meme or a GIF or whatever the hell it's called. I'm old. I get it confused about Sam Cassell. You know what I'm talking about. You need a wheelbarrow for what this man's carrying around with him. The guts, the minerals, the stones, whatever you want to call it. But the skill to make these shots.
Walk us through Game 1, fourth quarter. Down 14 with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, we just came to the timeout and said, we've been here before. Nobody panic. Let's just walk it down. I always try to look at things. I think we as a group try to look at if it's 15, let's get it to 10. If we get to 5, make it a 2-possession game, we trust ourselves more than we trust anybody else. Aaron, just every shot he made, it just kept giving us more confidence. And I didn't even realize how hot he was until it just kept going in. And then we knew that's like a 2-point game there. And so we just knew there'd be an opportunity.
Haliburton, he'll take it, he'll backpedal, a three for the win, and he got it!
Oh, I think that's a 2.
And we're tied at 125 going to overtime.
What do you wear? Size 13?
14.
Do you wish it was a 13?
Yeah, that moment, I was like, this is my KD moment right here, right? Puts on the line. I thought for sure I got back.
Oh! That did not happen! It hit the back of the rim!
I think people have been wanting me to break out the celebration, of course.
When you pointing at me and started doing, I'm like, oh God. Yeah. My phone started blowing up and all the celebrities started looking at me it's your fault. I'm like, how is it my fault?
Man, in the moment, it just felt, it was the right time. From there, my mentality shifted. We cannot lose this game now, because if I break out that celebration and we lose the game, then it'll be a problem.
And the game is over, and Indiana has won, coming back and captured game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
This place is absolutely stunned. What makes this great is the matchup between you and Jalen Brunson, 2 young point guards. How's that been?
I mean, we're alphas, we want to be the best, right? And so when our names are always in the same conversation, and now we're here battling to bring our teams to the NBA Finals, I think that you're going to see some competition, and you're going to see the best in both of us. And that's what everybody wants to see. And me and Jalen, as much as I hate to say it, we're friends. You know what I mean? Like, we are friends. We text each other throughout the season. But when we step on the floor, and especially in a time like right now, there's not much conversation to be had. I think to be the best, you have to beat the best. And Jalen has been amazing, willing his team to get to where they are. I think that's why I'm excited to compete against him on an every night basis.
For Haliburton heroics, Tyrese Haliburton trying to take Cleveland's heart. It's Haliburton! Unbelievable.
Something I was never able to do, it haunts me to this day, is bringing a chip to Indiana. What would that mean to you?
Man, it would mean the world. So I'm in the Indy 500 parade, and I was sitting in the car, and I was looking around, and I was like, this is so many people. If we won a championship, you could probably double this, triple it. You know, like, this would be ridiculous. And I remember sitting there like, it has to happen. Said all year, our goal is to win a championship. Man, I think people heard me say that early in the year, like, yeah, right, get out of here.
Are you like the rest of us when you're watching them pull off these improbable comebacks thinking, how did this come to fruition?
Yes, absolutely.
Every time OKC gets a little breathing room, the Pacers have an answer.
I just came back for the win.
Final seconds, Haliburton looking. Haliburton driving, pulls up, jump shot. It's good! It's good! Tyrese Haliburton does it again! He's not afraid of the moment. He is the moment.
Well, that question I asked to SGA feels a little different in the light of this new day.
It's a comeback we've literally never seen on this stage. But if we know anything about Tyrese Haliburton and the Pacers, it's that throughout the chaos, that is exactly where they thrive. Because Indiana had an ugly first half in this game. They turned it over 20 times. That's the most by any team in a half of a finals game in the last 35 years. But despite that, they only trailed by 12 at the break. Here's Rick Carlisle's message at halftime.
Good thing is, 19 turnovers, they only have 6 points. All right? 6 and 9 points. All right? Not the end of the world. A lot of really good looks at threes. Some of them haven't gone in. Stay with the process.
And here's the thing, he's speaking from experience, because back in 2011, he was the coach of the Mavericks, and he was the architect of a 15-point fourth quarter comeback against the Miami Heat, Udonis. It was the largest comeback in the finals in the last 50 years. And of course, this Pacers team has been through this as well, because before Thursday, Indiana had 3 of these comebacks, Brian.
This is something that I've really never seen before, because they do it in such short time frames. Like, they should be out of these games, and then they keep coming back and making it happen.
You have game 5 against the Bucks in round 1, game 2 against the Cavs, and then the Eastern Conference Finals perk. But back to Thursday, after trailing by as many as 15 in the fourth, Indiana turned it all the way up.
They did. The others stepped up huge in the fourth quarter.
Obi Toppin, Myles Turner, and the Canadian, I don't know what I want to call it, was on both ends of the floor.
And then, of course, they followed it up with this game winner from Tyrese Haliburton. The shot heard round the world, 0.3 of a second left to steal game one. Do not count the Pacers out. Do not, because in game one, they recorded their 4th win when trailing in the final 30 seconds of a game this postseason. Graphs and numbers can't even fully cover it, but we're going to try, because look how crazy you can see the comebacks have been in these probability charts. This is tied for the most such wins in a single postseason since at least 1998. Those are the numbers. Here's what players were saying after the game.
When it comes to them moments, like, he wants the ball. He wants to be the one to, hit that shot. He doesn't shy away from the moment. And very important this time of the year, to have a go-to guy. And just seems to keep finding a way. And we keep getting the ball in the right positions, and just the rest is history.
He's continued to make clutch play after clutch play like that. We just feel very confident when the ball's in his hands.
Oh man, my heart stopped. I'm not gonna lie. My heart stopped, and I was filled with joy when that shot went in.
Was anyone happier than Thomas Bryant after that? I don't know, but social media went bonkers after Hallie shot. You got Patrick Mahomes, you have Caitlin Clark, Magic Johnson, so many more. Shell-shocked, elated like the rest of the sports world. This was the perfect way to start out these finals, to give everybody a taste of what this matchup can offer. I want to say, how did Indiana flip the script? But really, they just returned to this is what they do at this point.
I'm not sure so something you want to bank on.
Yeah.
But, the thing about it is that when they got late in the game, they had been in this situation before, and it's in everybody's head. It's in the Thunder's head that they have seen this before, and it's in the Pacers' head that they can do it. And so everybody watches everybody, knows their opponent, and sometimes it leads things to manifesting themselves, and that's kind of what we saw last night.
My guy, Tricky Ricky, Coach Rick Carlisle strikes again. At 9:42 in the fourth quarter, he brings in 5 completely new guys. 5 completely new. Brings back Holly, brings back Naismith, brings back Nembhard, brings Obi back in, and then goes back to Myles Turner, who has struggled up until that point.
Offensively, yeah.
Offensively, yes. Goes into the fourth quarter, Myles Turner gives you 8 points. They go on a 15-4 run around that time that he makes that adjustment. So I'm looking at that lineup, and then OKC comes in with 3 guys. They didn't really know what to do. We don't really see 5 guys, 5 in the NBA.
They didn't, but I thought Mike Dagnall, he could have came back in with SGA a little early, especially when you always want to watch.
Sorry, who?
What's his name?
Mark Dagnall.
That's what I said.
Okay, I thought it was Mac. Keep going. Let's start with
me. Right, let me finish. Okay. When you talk about looking at the minutes with J-Dub and how he plays without SGA, like, you monitor that situation if you him, right? You bring in SGA early, but here's the thing. The Pacers literally have been playing with house money all playoffs. Real talk. Nobody, like, they're playing with zero pressure. They've been playing with zero pressure the entire postseason. They was the underdogs in the first series. They was the underdogs in the second series. They was the underdogs against the Knicks. They're the underdogs now.
You know what? You're right, Perk, because when Lillard was coming back, people thought the Bucks were going to win.
I'm saying they have literally been playing with house money. Like, Tyrese Haliburton was voted the most overrated player. He's been playing with house money, like zero pressure. So, again, like, these comebacks, they are great. I'm not knocking that whatsoever. They are hard to do. But it's like just having fun, no pressure. Hey, we're going to shoot our shot. It is what it is.
I will say this, Malika. I talked to people from the Pacers yesterday, and they said they watched ESPN, and they saw everybody in all the shows picking Oklahoma City.
They told me today. Yeah.
They were like,
didn't I tell you?
We loved it. Every time you guys picked them,
I said it yesterday.
This is exactly what they
text going out with all us sitting up here picking the other team.
Exactly. And Giannis is probably sending the text. Giannis is in there like, here, did you see what we all said here?
We got to stop. And coach trusts us in those moments to not call timeouts. Trust me in those moments. Guys trust me, and just trying to make a play. So, man, basketball's fun, man. Winning is fun. That's a great win for us.
Brian Windhorst and Udonis Haslem are joining us for this conversation. And Brian, UD, you have the Pacers winning the series.
I did.
But unlike me, didn't have them winning game 1.
Strange.
But Brian, you said that this was the roadmap. This was the blueprint. This is how they wanted to play?
Indiana arrived with intent. The Pacers didn't need fanfare or underdog labels. Practically, they needed composure, and in Game 1, they found it. Oklahoma City looked pretty much in control. Then Tyrese Haliburton pulled up with 0.3 on the clock, and the series changed. That shot didn't only tilt the scoreboard, it changed momentum. 2 nights later, the Thunder responded like a team built to compete for titles. They played clean, fast, and physical. And now, this finals matchup feels balanced in every sense. Oklahoma City built a 15-point lead late in the third quarter. Their rhythm looked smooth and ball movement created space. Their crowd backed every drive, but Indiana kept grinding. Haliburton remained active on every touch. He played with clarity, and his mid-range jumper in the closing seconds gave the Pacers their first lead of the night and the win. Siakam contributed with post presence, while Aaron Nesmith kept applying pressure on the wings. Every bench minute counted. Indiana closed the gap without leaning on chaos. They took each possession seriously. That victory became their 5th comeback of the postseason. No team this year matched that resilience. After the shot, Haliburton turned to the crowd. One hand tapped his throat, which mirrored a gesture made famous by a former Pacers star at Madison Square Garden nearly 3 decades ago. Later, Haliburton spoke about the moment. He believed he hit a 3 when he made the sign. Once he saw it was a 2, he admitted he might have responded differently, but the message behind the gesture held. It wasn't a performance for the camera. In actuality, he wanted that moment seen by the man who inspired it, and it was. Indiana didn't win Game 1 through one highlight. They managed the fourth quarter better. Their defensive rotations tightened and ball movement remained steady, even with elevating pressure. Haliburton scored 26 points, many in high-leverage situations. His decision-making reduced Oklahoma City's fast break chances. The Pacers gave up fewer fouls, avoided unnecessary switches, and protected the paint when it mattered. Game 2 began with more urgency. Oklahoma City applied defensive pressure from the opening tip. They disrupted Indiana's first sets. By the second quarter, the lead grew behind a 19-2 run. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander led the way with 34 points, 8 assists, and a defensive presence that altered passing lanes. The bench, led by Wiggins and Caruso, added 38 combined. Their production widened the gap before Indiana could settle in. The Thunder controlled pace, glass, and spacing. They cut off Haliburton's entry lanes. They stayed aggressive without pushing in early shots. The team's game plan unfolded cleanly. By the end of the third, the result felt inevitable. The final score stood at 123-107. Haliburton finished with 17 points and fewer clean looks. The off-ball movement slowed and offensive options narrowed. Siakam found double teams more frequently, and eventually spacing collapsed. Naturally, with that, Indiana's second-chance efforts dropped. They lost the rebounding battle and failed to convert at the rim. Three-point accuracy dipped under pressure, and turnovers returned at the worst times. Notably, the breakdown wasn't about missed shots. It came from reduced discipline. That's what Oklahoma City exposed. The next game moves to Indiana. Crowd energy will follow the home team, but energy solves little without execution. If Indiana wants to regain control, Haliburton calls for more support, on-ball and off-ball. Also, Carlisle's rotations have to create cleaner matchups in transition. Indiana's win opened the door, and Oklahoma City's response closed it. Now, the matchup resets. Momentum doesn't carry. Each side owns a version of the truth. Indiana can rally from anywhere. Oklahoma City can prevent the rally altogether. The finals continue not as a surprise story, but as a chess match in motion. Every game ahead carries weight, and every adjustment demands clarity. Right now, there's hardly any room left for assumptions. Indeed, the next moments won't answer everything, but they will surely reveal who understands what's required now. Stay tuned and subscribe so that you never miss a beat.